This is your Mecklenburg Minute. The policy group is made up of the county, city, and town managers, the health director, emergency management, CMPD, hospital leaders, and others. They came together to share how they work and how they are addressing the pandemic. They've been meeting regularly before the first COVID-19 case was detected in Mecklenburg County.
In essence, what we do is we just get on the phone and we just sort of go round robin. Everybody just reports out on what they're seeing on the ground, what the issues are.
We start out the conversation every time with what the data looks like. What are we dealing with in our community in terms of COVID specifically? But the other issues, whether it's the economy or the politics or whatever it happens to be that is affecting the issue at the moment, CMS, the challenges they're having, all of those sorts of things come into the conversation.
How could a pandemic be more scary, right, for the public? One of the things that we hold up to the public is we want to, have a uniform voice in how we're managing and messaging, because that's really crucial for them to not see inconsistencies across the healthcare spectrum or in other areas in the community.
This is the greatest public health emergency that this county and pretty much any county has had. And there's lots of expertise at the county that Gibby certainly represents. But as one of the leading health systems in the county, being able to bring our perspective, our expertise, bring the accurate data so that everyone in this group has the best data available to make decisions, that's the most important thing. And that's what we've been doing the whole time.
The policy group uses a county-wide approach with experts who then bring information to the public and to elected leaders.
There's this other level of communication that's occurring between me and the mayor and the council. So as certain items come up, for instance, Dina put an item in the room on Monday that is something that we may have to deal with a week from now or so. And so we start the conversation, or at least I do with the elected officials, that this may be coming. And I try to get insight.
In late April, we were under a county order. The governor had his order. The restrictions were somewhat different. We made the decision after receiving feedback from our respective boards and coming back to this policy group with that feedback to decide, let's keep on the same page, all uniform, and go under the restrictions that were in place from the governor. And that's just one pretty large example of how we've handled these types of issues.
A good example of that is when we got the stay-at-home order, Chief Estes actually met with the police chiefs of all the 6 towns, and they discussed it so that when you had application of enforcement, it would be consistent across the entire county. So if you were in Cornelius or you were in Pineville, the police were not enforcing these things differently. And that is the benefit of having this on the table and really sharing that information.
Unity of effort. We're all in this together, and it's important that we share resources as we go through COVID, not only this year, but into next year.
We work very collectively on our stay-at-home orders that we enacted locally. And just to make sure that we were all in agreement, this group works on consensus. And we don't move forward unless we have consensus amongst all the parties. And I think that's what's made this group incredibly successful. I think we're probably one of the only counties in the state of North Carolina that operates under this structure.
This has been a great example of how joint work and joint effort can really make a difference in a community.
Gibby Harris regularly shares policy group information with the community during public meetings and virtual updates. Policy group members are in constant contact with elected officials who review and approve decisions. The policy group meets for any emergency and will continue to meet as long as the pandemic lasts. With your Mecklenburg Minute, I'm Pamela Escobar.